If you're doing NoFap or you're unsure about masturbation, you've probably asked yourself some questions. Is masturbation actually harmful? Does NoFap really increase testosterone? Are the benefits of semen retention real? The internet is filled with claims on this topic. Some people say, NoFap changed my life. Others say, masturbation is completely normal. So what's the truth? I wanted to find the answer too. Instead of depending on opinions or influences, I looked at scientific research and medical evidence. What I found was interesting. Some popular claims have evidence to support them, while others aren't as clear as many believe. In this video, we will separate facts from myths and see what science says about masturbation, NoFap, and semen retention. If you enjoy science-based content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Now, let's get started. So let's start with the biggest question. Is masturbation actually harmful? The short answer is no, not necessarily. Modern medical science views masturbation as a normal and natural sexual behavior. In fact, many people experience it at some point in their lives. But here's where things get interesting. Just because something is normal doesn't mean it's always healthy in every situation. Context matters. For most people, masturbation doesn't cause physical harm. During sexual arousal and orgasm, the brain releases chemicals like dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins. These are often called feel-good chemicals because they relate to pleasure, relaxation, and reward. That's one reason why many people feel relaxed or less stressed afterward. However, the real concern isn't masturbation itself. The concern arises when it becomes compulsive. For example, if it's affecting your work, your studies, or your relationships, or if you find it hard to control despite negative consequences, then the behavior may become a problem. That's an important distinction. Science usually doesn't ask if masturbation is good or bad. Instead, it asks if this behavior is affecting your health and daily life. In most cases, moderation is the key factor. Now that we know masturbation isn't automatically harmful, let's talk about something that often gets overlooked. Are there actually any benefits? According to research, orgasm can trigger the release of chemicals such as dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins. These chemicals are linked to feelings of pleasure, relaxation, and emotional well-being. That's why many people report feeling calmer or more relaxed afterward. Some people also find that it temporarily helps reduce stress. And in women, some studies and reports suggest that orgasm may help relieve certain menstrual cramps and discomfort. But there's another claim that's been discussed for years. The idea that frequent ejaculation might reduce the risk of prostate cancer. Now, this is where things get a little more complicated. Some studies have found an association between more frequent ejaculation and a lower risk of prostate cancer. However, an association doesn't automatically prove cause and effect. In other words, these studies show a possible connection, but they don't prove that ejaculation directly prevents prostate cancer. So while the findings are interesting, scientists still believe more research is needed before making strong conclusions. And that's an important reminder. Health topics are rarely as simple as social media headlines make them seem. The reality is usually much more nuanced. So if masturbation isn't necessarily harmful, what happens when someone decides to stop completely? That's what we'll look at next. So, what actually happens if you stop masturbating? One of the misconceptions about stopping masturbation is that it somehow hurts your body. According to what scientists currently know, there does not seem to be any direct physical harm from choosing not to masturbate. However, you may notice changes. For example, some men get dreams also called nocturnal emissions. If a man does not ejaculate for a time, his body may release semen during sleep. Even though many people think otherwise, this is completely normal. Some people also feel discomfort after being aroused for a long time without ejaculating. This is sometimes called balls. It can feel uncomfortable. It is generally temporary and not dangerous. You might also hear that not ejaculating for periods greatly improves sperm quality. The truth is a bit more complex. Some studies show that long periods without ejaculation can affect certain aspects of sperm. Fertility depends on many things, not just how often someone ejaculates. based on what science knows, stopping masturbation does not automatically hurt your health. Masturbating in moderation does not automatically hurt your health either. This brings us to the debated part of this topic: NoFap and retaining semen. Do they really boost testosterone? Provide the benefits people claim? Let's examine this closer. Now let's talk about what made NoFap famous. Does NoFap really boost testosterone levels? If you have spent time on media, you have probably seen people say that not masturbating greatly increases testosterone. What do studies say? Interestingly, some studies have seen temporary changes in hormones during short periods of not masturbating. However, scientists have not found proof that NoFap leads to a big long-term increase in testosterone. That is where a lot of confusion comes from. A temporary change is not the same as a boost. Testosterone is not the claim. Many people also think that not ejaculating can lead to benefits like higher confidence, more energy, greater success, even more attraction from others. The problem is that these claims are hard to test scientifically. Now, there is no strong scientific proof that not ejaculating gives people special powers or greatly changes their lives. That said, many people say they feel more focused, disciplined, and productive while doing NoFap. There could be a reason for that. When someone stops habits, spends less time watching adult content, and focuses more on exercise, work, or personal goals, their overall life often gets better. So the benefits they feel may come from those habit changes, not from not ejaculating. In words, the improvements can be real, but the reason may be different from what many people think. So after looking at the science, what can we conclude from all of this? Let's wrap everything up. So what can we really learn from all of this? We have to look at the facts we know today. Masturbating is a thing that most people do, and it is good for them. At the time, if someone chooses not to masturbate, it does not seem to hurt them. When we talk about NoFap and holding back semen, the research does not show that it gives people powers or makes their testosterone go up a lot. Some people do feel better when they focus more, are more in control of themselves, get more things done. These good things might be because they are living better and not because they are holding back semen. So maybe the important thing to remember is that we should not be afraid. We should not believe things that are not true either. We should talk about being balanced, knowing ourselves, and making choices for our health. Now I want to hear what you think. Have you ever tried NoFap? If you did, what changes did you see in yourself? Tell me in the comments. If you like this video, do not forget to like it, subscribe, and share it with someone who might like it too. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.